Okay, well, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you hit the bell whilst you're at it so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Make sure you do check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. Link to that in the description and also at the top of the chat as well. Join discussions, chat to other traders, including myself. So if you're interested, make sure you check it out. And of course, you can learn a bit more about elevating trades to the firm, and you can find any discount codes there as well. So guys, welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone's well. What's up, Tony Gold? What's up, CS Integrated? Welcome to the stream. As always, I'll go through USD markets first, take a look at them, see what's happening in that world. And of course, if you guys have any recommendations, drop it down in the chat, or any questions as well, drop it down in the chat and we'll discuss. What's up, Ahmed? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. So first thing first, we'll start with the dollar. So with this one, it looks like we've had a bit of a bullish close yesterday. Prices are slowly pushing higher. Not really much force. Let me actually go check the news quickly. See what we've got for the rest of the week. Okay, so Tuesday, not much. Wednesday. Okay, CPI Wednesday, Bank of Canada interest rate decision as well. That could be interesting. And then Thursday, interest rate for euro. That could be interesting as well. Jobless claims. And Friday, GDP for pound. And not much after that. So tomorrow and Thursday could be a bit interesting for CAD, USD, and euro. So yeah, we'll see what that has in store. What's up, the high elf? Top of the morning to you as well. I hope you're doing good. So yeah, with the dollar, we have been a little bit bullish since last time we spoke. I believe we were trading around here. The market's made a bit of an up move. The key thing I'm still looking at is the break of this low here. That will reinstate my bearish bias, and I'll be looking for selling opportunities below that. At the moment, we had a really strong rejection on Friday with this massive wick to the downside, and of course, a very strong close there as well. So it's an indication that we've tried to break lower, but we haven't sustained those prices. And with that close, it means that price is respecting support and potentially could be, in the process of a pretty big move to the upside, if we're going to double bottom here. So for me to still be bearish and looking for those lower highs, I do need to see support break, as I was mentioning yesterday, which we haven't had that yet. Maybe we form a bit of a range here and bounce back and forth, wait for CPI to come in, and then maybe we break out after that. But for me to be looking for sales actively, I do need price to break that low. Otherwise, you might see price turn around. And again, overall, we're still in an area which I'm only want to be looking for sales anyway, especially as a swing trader looking for the biggest swing in the market. This is still very high prices, significant levels in the market. This is bearish territory. For me to be looking at buying USD or be bullish longer term, I need price to be breaking through these areas, breaking through that resistance, and then I can discuss some buying opportunities. At this moment in time, I can only be looking for sells, and so I'm waiting for price to break lows, and then I can look for some quality opportunities, maybe in euro, maybe in pound, depends which pair sets up the better one. But at the moment in time, still have that bearish bias as we operate in these areas. We have seen a lower high and a lower low form since that's happened. Of course, we broke structure, so a lower low, lower high. Just need that bearish momentum to kick back in, and possibly you might see a continuation. But still looking for a drop there for dollar. And again, as I discussed yesterday, these are the prices I'm looking for us to get back into, 104.6, maybe even further if we're really going to have a sell-off. But so far, that's still the idea with the dollar. In terms of Euro USD, again, looking for the exact opposite of this one. This looks like we're having a bit of a correction as well. So, of course, you got one low there, second higher one there as well, and potentially could be seeing a third one. If Euro stays above this area, could actually see some nice buys for this one, actually, because we did just about pinch the high over here. No solid candle close, which would have made the setup a lot better. But the idea with Euro is, again, we're looking for a higher low for a push to the upside. Same thing with dollar, but of course the inverse. So there could be some opportunities with Euro USD to take this one higher. If I zoom out, you can see we're in a similar situation, trading at the critical lows here. Again, where I do expect to see a bit of a bounce in the market. As long as we stay above these areas, I am bullish. If we do see a strong weekly candle close that breaks through, of course, I'll hold my hands up, reanalyze, and maybe at that point we'll talk about breakout to these lows down here. So that could be the situation, but at this moment in time, not quite seeing that. So that's still the plan there for Euro. Looking for some higher lows and some buys to the upside. Pound USD, similar situation as well. This one has been a little bit smoother than Euro in terms of we broke the highs over here on the left, and then we broke the highs there again. So the market has been slowly pushing to the upside pretty well. I have talked about 1.285 as being the target for pound. Coming back into that zone, not too far away. The only criticism I have with pound is that we haven't have some decent pullbacks for me to get involved with. The pullbacks have been pretty shallow. I mean, if you drop to the hourly or 30-minute time frame, probably got some decent pullbacks there. But for the 4-hour time frame, which is the time frame I use to execute my trades, just being a little bit shallow in terms of the risk to reward. Yeah, we are slowly pushing to the upside. We have seen that shift in structure. We've been very bearish, seeing lower lows and lower highs. And of course, since this low has been created, we've been seeing higher highs and higher lows. So the plan is still a move into this area here. And like I said last week as well, there could be some nice shorts from this area, 1.285, maybe some nice rejections to take price back down again. Again, overall, pound USD is still in an area where I do expect a higher low to form. As we saw over here, second, third, potentially fourth as well. We're still generally in that area where price could really, push to the upside from. But because we are still a little bit corrective, and this is still a pretty strong area in the market, I would watch out. And there could be some nice short-term sells, or who knows, maybe a big sell to the low there. Either which way, I do expect to see a reaction as we do approach 1.285. So I would keep an eye for that area. In terms of dollar CAD, it looks like we are breaking to the upside. So this one is becoming pretty interesting. I would like to see a strong candle close above the high though, which we haven't quite got yet. We've kind of teased the idea of breaking the high. As I was speaking on yesterday, I can only look to buy dollar CAD if we do see price go and break the highs aggressively. Then I can look for some pullbacks and hopefully a retest of this area here. Nice consolidation, strong break to the upside for a lot of momentum. Looking for price to come back and revisit that, and hopefully find some opportunities to find some long entries. But the idea with dollar CAD is, again, we've had a strong break of that weekly significant level. And if this is a breakout, if price really does want to commit to the upside, I'm expecting that bullish trend on the 4-hour chart to continue and create some new highs, higher lows. And there's a long way to go, 1.445, 46. That's kind of the areas I'm looking for dollar CAD to get to in relation to the weekly time frame. So if we are going to keep up this bullish trend, which so far we're doing a pretty good job at, as you can see, the consecutive higher lows. All I want to see though is a new higher high with some solid candle closures, and that can be talking about some pullbacks, trying to catch the next higher low. But that is kind of what I'm looking at for dollar CAD. In terms of Aussie dollar, this one is slowly shifting. It's taking its time though. We had a really strong move to the downside kind of since we last spoke. Aussie was pretty weak. Again, we're still trading in that 0.64 area, so overall still pretty bullish on the market. As I said yesterday, looking for price to give us some higher highs, higher lows, and possibly a buy. I don't mind this setup here. The only thing I don't like about it is that we were a little bit too aggressive on this move. If we took our time to the downside, I think that could be a really nice double bottom for a buy. But the fact is we had a really nice impulse to the upside yesterday. Then we impulse really aggressively back down last night. Not really the characteristics you want to see on the double bottom. Yeah, a little bit too aggressive for my liking. But overall, still a nice area for a long. If you don't want to look to enter now, possibly there could be some longs in the future on another higher low, maybe retesting some structure. Maybe if we get back above this low there on the 4-hour chart. But the idea is that if we are going to respect 0.64, you do expect to see a meaningful reaction from this area. So you don't really have to be the first one into the trade. If you're looking for the higher low or the one after that, there still should be some nice pips to take advantage of and distance to take advantage of as well if we are going to really react from this area. And of course, if we do break through, possibly we could be looking for a big move back to the COVID lows, which is down here. and we can reanalyze that and discuss that when it happens. But for now, still looking at a bit of reversal here for Aussie dollar, although looking pretty bearish this morning. I believe NZD/USD is in a similar situation as well. Yeah, strong move back down. It was a nice double bottom yesterday off that low. We're back there again. Not the best sign, really, from my experience when double bottoms really work well. Normally, price will test the area again and then normally let fly. You don't really want to see price come back down for a third time. More of a sign that we're kind of losing momentum. Maybe if we see another strong rejection, it could be a nice setup again, but really want to get the first retest of that area. And if you do come back down again, it's more of a sign of a failure than we're just coming back for a retest. And that's just from my experience trading the patterns. But again, not everything's 100%. It is a probability game. Sometimes we do come back down and price does push on, but from my experience, I wouldn't be so attracted to that. The first time, yes. If we come back again, I know it's technically a triple bottom, but that's not really something I would look at too much in terms of the longs. And plus, if it was more of a triple bottom, I would want price to really do something like that, not straight up back down again. So losing a little bit of confidence there for NZD/USD, but if we do create some new highs from that, again, the idea is that we don't need to be the first one in the market there. If we are going to swing to the upside from these lows, that should be a pretty meaningful move. Therefore, the higher lows still do look good, and you can find some pullbacks after that. In terms of gold and silver, gold, we did have a bit of a push to the upside, and silver we did too as well. Happy talking about some shorts with gold from 26.75. And I believe we just about came into that area. Had a nice reaction there on the lower time frames, a few wicks there to the upside in the 4-hour chart. This is a nice area where we might see a reaction and another push down. That's kind of all I'm looking for from gold. Nothing more than that, really, because I am overall still pretty bullish on the pair. Looking for a big move to the upside, but I don't really have that bullish setup yet. So that's why I'm staying on the sidelines. But if you are bearish, as we saw, a lot of momentum came from that same area last time we're at these prices. Lines up pretty well with some resistance there in the 4-hour chart. And overall, since that big drop, the market has been very corrective. So impulse, correction, these are type of characteristics you expect to see another impulse to the downside from. So naturally, not a bad place to short from. And based on how choppy the market is, back at the high, there's a good chance of a reaction. So if you're looking to short, now's the time really. If you're waiting for the longs, then you're going to have to wait some more because, again, not really seeing a setup for that. Still want to see price taking out highs first before I do start to consider some longs and then hopefully some pullbacks after that. But silver, on the other hand, did see a nice break to the upside and is a pair which I'm definitely looking to get some longs from. I won't be looking for a retest of this level just yet. I need price to do a little bit more than that before I do start looking for retest. Need some bigger pullbacks as well, especially when we're entering trades in the 4-hour chart. But the break to the upside, the break of structure is definitely a strong sign that silver is forming a bit of a bottom here, and we could be looking to continue to the upside. So again, looking at the higher time frames, if I whip out the fib from the low to the high, you can see a very healthy pullback into the 0.618. Lovely respect to that area, double bottom there, and a strong break to the upside. So this is a sign that, okay, silver's getting ready to turn. And if I can find some nice swings, I'll be more than happy to play some entries and see if I can take it back to the high at 35. So silver's looking very good. Have to admit, strong break of the high. And I will be looking at some opportunities to take that one higher. But that's kind of where I'm at with the USD world. Still have a bearish bias in USD simply because of where we're trading, although the structure is not looking as good as it was last week because we are, of course, respecting that low. It would be nice if price actually broke through, hence why I want price to break through again to actually give me that close and evidence that, okay, the bears are really stepping in again and we're not double bottom here to turn around. But in these areas, I'm not going to be looking for buys until I see clear signs of us taking out the highs. I know that will be a while from now, but these are bearish territories for me, especially as a swing trader. So that's kind of what I'm eyeing up. But silver looks good. Hopefully, some of the USD pairs could look good. Maybe after CPI tomorrow, things can set up. What's up, Tashi? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. What's up, Mo? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Guessing aiming for 1.28. Yeah, it's looking pretty bullish. I think pound is a little bit strong today. Yeah, Euro, NZD, and Aussie all hanging on for dear life on those support levels. But yeah, I'm still looking for the longs. I have to admit the longs aren't looking that good, especially on Aussie and New Zealand dollar. Those two had some nice double bottoms yesterday, especially New Zealand dollar. But yeah, the fact is we came straight back down. That's not really a healthy sign. When we do have our double bottoms, you want price to respect a low, push up, have some time, come back, and then respect it again. You don't want price to push up and come right back down. It's more of a sign of a failure to really sustain that bullish momentum. So yeah, a bit of a red flag then, especially with NZD USD, is we formed a really nice double bottom actually. So yeah, we formed a really nice double bottom. You can see what I'm talking about. Really nice move to the upside, bit of a slow move down. That's more of a healthy sign of a double bottom forming. Initially a nice reaction, but the fact that we shot back down is not really a good sign either. Again, we still could hold the low, but in theory, if you look across the board at double top and double bottom patterns, when they do work well, they normally just respect that area, and then we get going. If we do come back to revisit, again, not to say that we can't still push on. Nothing's guaranteed, but yeah, it does lower the probability now. But again, doesn't mean we can't turn around. So if there's evidence that we can still push and break the highs some more, especially break through this one, because we are forming a little bit of a range really with NZD/USD. So if we can definitely break the high here, that'd be very strong evidence that the buyers coming back into town, and there could be some nice pullbacks to take that to the upside, maybe back to the next swing high, which would be this point here, 0.60315. All I can say with certainty is that New Zealand dollar is definitely at an area where buyers have evidently got into the market. We saw a lot of upside from these areas, a lot of upside from there. So this is still very bullish territory on the higher time frames. Whether or not we respect this area, we bounce or break through, that's a different question. But if we do see evidence of that happening, there could be some nice buys in the next coming days for NZD/USD and Aussie dollar and pretty much all the USD pairs, because we're all trading in some really big, significant areas, really. And it's going to be governed by dollar, whether the dollar wants to respect 107 area or if it wants to continue that trend. Good morning, Dark Sean. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Pound Yen, okay, we'll take a look for you. UJ as well, no problem. Ahmed, we'll take a look. Yeah, silver did flew. Silver did fly. Yeah, impressive stuff from silver, because we were looking at silver on stream and it wasn't looking that bullish. I believe it was just poking its head above the high there, and then I came back and saw it was closed all the way up there. So yeah, very nice price action from silver, I must admit. And it's a strong sign saying that, okay, the buyers are entering back into the market. Sellers failed to hold the high here. So I'm going to be looking at a bit of an uptrend forming all the way back to the high at 34.8. So I'm not ready to buy just yet, but that is a very strong sign. That's kind of what I was looking for. Now with silver, now I'm just looking for swings to take that to the upside. So silver firmly on the watch list, really. I'm really liking the opportunity from a top-down perspective, right to the low time frames. Everything is ticking the box twice over, really. Now it's just about finding the entries and the setups, which hopefully could come over the next 2, 3, 4 days. But we shall see. But yeah, in terms of silver, very bullish on this one. It's funny because silver looks pretty good, but gold don't really have a setup with that one at all, really, in terms of the buys anyway. So yeah, we'll see how gold develops as well. But yeah, very bullish on silver, looking very attractive. Litecoin, okay, I'll take a look for you, no problem. I'll go through GJ first, UJ, then we'll take a look at Litecoin. Karis, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Morning. Regina, good morning. Hope you are well. Welcome to the stream. If you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, please be sure to drop a like. It does really help out. And of course, subscribe to the channel. But yeah, we'll take a look at Pound Yen. So Pound Yen, some nice retracement. I'm liking this one. Same with CHF, JPY. I'm keeping a close eye on both of them. As I was speaking yesterday, those are the two yen pairs which I do see myself potentially getting involved. I think CAD Yen, which I'll go through in a moment, That one's just pushed way too far, so I don't see a pullback for that one really. So I'm just going to keep trading stops with that one. But pound yen and Swiss yen, these guys look like I can find some entries potentially. So nice push to the upside. I've talked about this fib here from the high to the low. So if I whip it out, as we can see, coming back into the low, we've had a healthy retracement. We've just breached the 0.5. So we have pulled halfway. Now this is kind of in territory where I do expect low highs to form. Of course, whether it forms here or it pushes a little bit higher or a little bit higher after that, that's of course, judging price and looking for your entry confirmations. But we're now in territory where I do expect us to eventually put that low high and come back down. So I'm keeping a very close eye of this low here. I'm looking for evidence, double tops, rejections, wicks, bearish engulfing candles. I'm looking for evidence at these areas here to take some shorts to ride it back down. We've had some lovely lower highs in the past. I'm looking to see if we can add to that in this vicinity. So very bearish in pound yen, still slowly pushing up on the lower time frames. Nice bullish structure. But again, the plan is I'm still viewing this as a correction for price to keep falling. And yeah, I'm gonna have to stay patient, wait for the right time to take my trades. If I don't get anything, I'll leave it alone. But I'm looking at lower highs developing here for a short. And yeah, we're coming to a really nice area. So the plan is looking to short pound yen. Again, I've been through it a million times why I'm bearish on higher time frames, but I'm in a nice area to short from. Now it's just up to price to develop and actually give me the confirmations I'm looking for. But we're at some really nice areas for that. In terms of dollar yen, I believe this one had a bit of a push to the upside as well. So yeah, this one's at a nice area too, testing that consolidation here. Well, miniature consolidation supply area, really strong drop to the downside. And now price is back at that area and seeing some nice rejections as well. So I think this is actually a nice place to look to short dollar yen. As I was speaking on yesterday, I gave out two areas where shorts look good. So this being the first one, 151.750, and this being the second area, 153.500. So these are the two areas which I would like to expect dollar yen to roll over from. This area is just a little bit too shallow for me. Otherwise, I would look to actually take entries there. But whipping out the old fib, we haven't even reached the 50 yet, so it's not kind of something I'll look at personally. That's why I have been so focused on this area. But we are starting to see evidence that we could actually sell from here too. I like the fact is we formed this high just about taking it out. So I do think we can see a bit of a drop from that. And targets back at the low look pretty good there to me. So yeah, very bearish in dollar yen in a nice area to short from. I've kind of noticed that a lot of the yen pairs in some areas where we might see some bearish momentum step into the market. Of course, looking for the price action, looking for the confirmations, that's the important thing here. Otherwise, price could very much just break through these areas, so need to watch out for that. But dollar yen in the area where I do like the shorts, kind of lines up with the low here on the left as well. That is a horrible line. Let me do that again. So that is adds to the picture, paints the picture that we're very much in an area where sellers could be looking to enter and see some continuations of that momentum from a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, very bearish in dollar yen. Keep an eye on 151.500. If not, then that will be the second area we'll be interested in, 153.5. Hey, what's up, Mo? Welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you are doing good. Good morning to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's up, Annie? Hope you're doing well. Okay, I will add Euro Pound to the list. I'm just going to go through Litecoin and then I'll take a look at Euro Pound for you. Pavinator, what is up? Hope you're doing well. Happy Tuesday, right back at you. Aussie Dollar T comes to my spot and flies away. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Until structure break, good man. I mean, at the end of the day, you have a plan. You have a plan in place, and you trade that plan. You plan your trade. You trade the plan. Of course, unforeseen things can happen. Price breaks the area or tests the area when you're not at the charts. Then give you an entry signal. A million different things can happen which might mean you missed the trade or the trade didn't set up how you wanted it to. So that's obviously a part of trading, unfortunately. But yeah, all we have to do is stay patient and wait for the opportunities to arise, because they will. And you have to make sure you're there to take them. The most important thing is, between the opportunities you get, you don't do any kind of silly mistakes, which is, fear of missing out. Like you said, it flew away. The mistake would be to try and jump into that as it's flying away, because of the FOMO. You don't want to miss out on the move, so you just whack a few trades on, and that's where the mistakes happen. So yeah, stay patient. The area. The trade will either set up or it won't. If it does, you want to make sure you're there. If it doesn't, on to the next one. But yeah, that is definitely unfortunate, and of course, won't be the last time it does happen. Okay, so we'll take a quick look at Litecoin, and then we'll go over to Euro Pound. So yeah, with Litecoin, we did see some continuation. We had a big drop on the cryptos yesterday. I'll go take a look at that in a moment. But yeah, this one had a bit of a move to the downside here. Very strong close down the daily chart. I wouldn't say that's too worrying just yet. Yeah, I wouldn't say that's too worrying just yet. It is a very strong close, but today's candle will have a lot of importance. If we keep that momentum up and see another strong close, that would scare me, I'm not gonna lie. Not scare me in terms of a crash, but it might mean that this up move here wasn't really the one to get going, and we might go through a bit of a period like we did over here with a big consolidation, another one over there as well. We might end up doing something like this for some time. Of course, you expect maybe another big push as well at some point in time, but that could be in quite a few weeks, months. So yeah, not a great close at all on this one, I have to admit, because we had a lot of momentum here, which is looking good, a lot of consolidation. So the idea was we're looking for that momentum to sustain. The fact is, we had a really strong bearish close. The next few days will be very important, whether we sustain that momentum or we form a bit of a low here as we come back to retest structure and we climb back up. Even if we don't do it rapidly, it becomes very corrective, and at that point, you're probably going to expect a drop anyway, as well. So, not a great candle there at all. With crypto, momentum is so important, and the fact is, momentum has definitely shifted from bullish to bearish now with that candle. So, yeah, even if we do push up, unless we push up with big candles, even bigger than this one, then of course, the move is very much back on. But if it's smaller candles and we slowly push up, we probably will eventually have a bigger retracement as well. So not a great candle, I have to admit. Not a great candle. If you're looking to trade Litecoin, then of course it's come back to a nice area. Back to this area here. We're testing some resistance and support. So it's not a bad area to catch a nice reaction from. But I wouldn't be so aggressive. I think if you can get back to these areas, lock in some gains. It's not necessarily in the condition where you want to try and shoot for the moon anymore. It's not quite right for that anymore. So yeah, not a great move there on Litecoin, I must admit. Really strong daily candle close. And when momentum is so important with markets like this, yeah, not a type of candle close you want to see as a buyer anyway. Okay, so I'll go through Euro Pound next. Manzondi, any news coming up? Hey, what's up, Ben? Welcome to the stream. Yes, we do have a bit of news coming up. Not today. I think today is pretty much blank. Of course, you got some minor, smaller news here, but nothing where you would look at and be too worried about. In terms of tomorrow, though, you got USD CPI at 1:30 UK time, and you've got Bank of Canada interest rate decision at 2:45 UK time. So that's definitely something to keep an eye for if you're trading USD, if you're trading CAD. And then the day after, Thursday, we've got early hours of the morning Aussie unemployment rate, which is expected to go up a little bit. And then in the afternoon that same day at 1:15 UK time again, we have ECB interest rate decision. So euro interest rates, which are expected to drop as well. So yeah, tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, very interesting news. Could see a lot of movement off the back of that. But today's pretty quiet. Today's the calm before the storm. But yeah, I'll go through Euro pounds. Looking for a buy. Okay, let's have a quick look. And then we can go through some of the yen pairs, because yen pairs have seen some upside. Looks like they're retracing. I'm interested, especially in pound and CHF JPY for some shorts. So yeah, we'll go through that in a moment. But yeah, euro pound looking very bearish. So I'd be careful here, because although we are still trading that monthly level of support, we are teasing the idea of potentially breaking out of this area. We haven't had a candle close below yet. Potentially could get it this month. We don't know. Maybe this month provides a big wick and we close bullish. It's difficult to predict what the candle will look like when it does close. But I can say that momentum is still looking very bearish, and we are still taking out low after low after low. So I think this is a great place for buys for euro pound. And if you're looking to take buys, down here, especially after that kind of close, it's a very aggressive trade, because the market could potentially keep falling. We have been bearish for quite a while on the lower time frames too. So yes, if you're looking for an aggressive trade and you're looking for a decent risk reward, it's actually not a bad time to buy, because the market's just taking out these lows, grab liquidity. We might see a bit of a reaction to the upside. Now, this is not really a conservative trade. It's very aggressive. You're going against momentum, going against the trend. The only thing really backing you up here is that the monthly time frame is still at major support. So you might see the reaction to the upside, at some point in time. The much safer trade would be waiting for price to start to form some bullish behavior, breaking some highs, forming some higher lows, and then looking for a trade later on. Of course, it's a rough idea of how we could look, but more or less something like that, which could take some time to develop. But at least at that point, you've got some bullish structure to trade and some evidence that we actually are holding on to that support level, and this trend may be reversing. So it's not a bad time to buy, actually. At these lows, it's not a bad time to buy, but it's a bit more risky. Price could still melt. You probably want to give yourself a bit of room in the stop loss as well. But if it does pay off, you could be looking at a really nice risk reward, potentially back to some of the prices up here. Could be looking at a pretty big risk reward there. So yes, I would say it's a time to buy, but it's definitely a very aggressive trade. So you want to take that into consideration. And yeah, it depends what you're looking for. If you're waiting for structure to shift, could be waiting a while for that. If you're looking to attack after the new lows, now's the time to be looking for evidence for buys. But it's just very aggressive. Not even respecting support either, so price could still keep falling. But that's one thing about trading. There is necessarily no kind of right or wrong way to trade. You can look to take reversals, you can look to follow trends, look to trade choppy markets, trending markets. There's necessarily no right or wrong way, because even in a bullish trending environment, bears can still make money. They just won't be looking to hold trades very far. They'll be looking to get in and out very quickly. So whichever way you're looking at, you can still make money whichever way. So looking to buy a market like this still can be a profitable proposition, but you want to be very careful, and you have to understand that the odds are not necessarily in your favor. So yeah, you don't want to be too aggressive with the position. But yeah, not a bad time to buy. I do expect to pull back anyway, but very, very aggressive, I must admit. Hey, what's up, Will? Hope you are doing good. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so we'll go through some of the yen pairs. So I'm still currently in CAD JPY. So that one's still moving okay. Seeing some nice downside. I was looking to trail stops. I still am looking to trail stops to above the high here. But we didn't break the low. I said yesterday, if we do break the low, I will move my stop loss, because it is still just above the high, above the low here. I'm being very loose with it. I'm waiting for bigger highs to form before I do trail, because higher time frames are very much on my side. So there's no need to be too aggressive. But at the moment time, we're double bottoming here. So at the moment, I'm still going to keep my stop loss around the 109.6 area. But if we do have a strong break of the low today or this week at some point, I will kind of scoot that along just above the high there. Not too far away from 103 now, which is where I'm looking to pull the plug on the trade and just take the remaining profits. We have gone about 60% of the way there. So, we're closer to the end than to the start, which is great because it has been a while since I've been in the trade, but everything is looking remotely well. Yes, double bottom there, maybe a bit of a red flag, but nothing crazy. Even if you do have a strong break to the upside, I still am looking for that low high to form, which is the reason why I'm still keeping my stops pretty high up. So, yeah, with CAD Gen, still pretty bearish on as well. 103 is still the main target. I still really like the weekly candle close we got a couple of weeks ago. Pretty strong close to the downside. Even last week had some nice closures. Looking for us to come back down into that support level is still plan A. But yeah, in terms of finding additional entries, I don't think it will happen now with CAD Gen. As I was speaking yesterday, this is the area which I want to add to the trade from. We had the strong break, but we've really left that area in the dust. So if we were to pull back all the way up there, not something really I'm looking for now. But as I spoke earlier, pound yen looks really good. Still really attracted to the shorts with this one, coming to a nice area of confluence, back into 0.618, back into a really nice swing low, and an area where a low high could form. So in my book, pound yen is looking really good, just waiting for confirmations and some entry signals. And that's what's going to trigger me into the trade, and hopefully we can swing it back into the low and hopefully a lot further as well. But the plan is to try and catch that next low high in this bearish sequence. CHF JPY is another one I do like a lot as well. This one had a really nice move to the upside, just like pound yen. And yeah, looking for the next low high as well. As we can see, we've got the prior highs here, 2, 3, 4, pretty much respected that high. Big move to the downside, and again, whipping up the fib from the high to the low. Looking at a retracement of that move, you can see we just about entered the 50. So now this is the areas where I'm looking to operate and take shorts from. Anywhere from the 50 and beyond really is the areas which I'm looking to sell. And we'll come back into some nice areas of support, which are going to be turn resistance. So I'm keeping a very close eye on CHF JPY. It's not ready for me to be shorted yet. Not ready for me to short it yet, but I am looking for some signs. I'm looking for some confirmations, and then hopefully I can find some entries again in the next coming days as well. But I'm looking for a lower high in this area. It has proven to be a solid level of resistance as well in the past. So if I drag this across, you can see really nice rejection over there as well. Really nice rejection of support there too. Now I'm looking for the low high and a push back to the low there. So yeah, the idea with CHF JPY is the same with pretty much all the yen pairs, except this one I like a little bit more because it's at all-time highs on the monthly chart, and the market is still very overextended. So for multiple reasons, it's due a move to the downside, and at least to come back within that all-time high, which is 158, we'll call it 160, we can round it up. So there's a reason to expect downside. Of course, we might still probably push on a little bit further, then drop, but because we had the break of structure as well, that's the indication to me that price is ready for the drop. So the break of this low, now we've got a lower high coming into play. Now I'm looking at more downside. So we'll be patient, but we're comfortably in an area where I do expect a lower high to form. So that's just going to be what I'll be waiting to take some trades from. But yeah, out the end pairs, CHF JPY, pound yen are the most attractive. Euro yen looks okay, but I prefer pound yen to it because Euro yen is not too far away from major support. In fact, we've kind of tested that support level down here as well. So if I flick over to pound yen, you can see, oh, that's not how you spell pound yen. If you look over to pound yen, you can see we're not anywhere near major support. So price is still comfortably in an area where we could still see some more downside and not coming into major support. But with Euro yen, we're trading at the support level. So the short opportunity is not as attractive anymore. In fact, we've come back from a strong area of support, which means we could see a bit more upside as well for Euro yen. So that's why I'm not looking to short Euro yen. But pound yen looks a lot better, and Swiss yen looks a lot better as well. And of course, you got your Aussie yen and your New Zealand yen. These two really nice breaks to the downside out that range, but again, nowhere near for the retest. I have been looking for price to come back and retest that low there. This is Aussie yen at 99.5. Again, nowhere near that retest. Potentially might go and see that move there. It'll be a pretty big pullback if that does come around, but hey, it could happen. So I will keep an eye for that. But it's a similar situation to CAD yen as well. I've got levels up here which I'm looking to short from. It's going to take a pretty big move for us to get there in the first place. But we'll see. Part of being a trader is just reacting to what the market's giving you, not being so predictive on the market. But yeah, could be some nice opportunities around 99.5. Otherwise, I don't really have a short opportunity which I'm looking at. Still bearish on the pair, but don't have a short which I'm looking to participate in. And yeah, still looking at more downside anyway. And of course, New Zealand yen, similar situation as well. Strong break to the downside out of that consolidation. Left behind that range very, very swiftly. Was looking for the retest of it, but just never came around. So unfortunately, didn't get a trade there. And again, unless we have that bigger pullback, not really seeing an opportunity to get involved with this one either. But still looking for low prices. This is where I'm targeting on the daily chart. It was a nice bullish engulfing candle yesterday, so maybe we do see that bigger pullback. But in terms of an opportunity, that's where the interest lies for the shorts. Anything else? Not really interested. But yeah, I'm still pretty bearish on the yen pairs longer term. Maybe we do see a bit more upside with them as they do have this bullish move, but I'm only looking to short. Oh no, Will, bit sick. Got a cold or something. And you get some lemon tea. What's that tea you used to recommend more? Was it lemon and ginger or something like that? Honey, lemon and ginger tea. What's up, Kevin? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. CS integrated DXY across today. Okay, scalping 106.2. Okay. I mean, it's probably gonna get more aggressive tomorrow with CPI. CS integrated. I know you don't look to trade news though. But you said you're looking to take a short. Okay, you're shorting Euro, Pound, USD, and the Aussie in the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so effectively looking to take buys on the dollar to 106.2. Or am I confused here? 106.2 is roughly here. So okay, you're looking to sell towards that area. Something like that. 106.8. I'm all over the place here. 106.8. That's up there. Okay, so I think I understand. You're looking to take sells on Aussie, New Zealand, and expecting upside $4 to 106.8. So you're looking for a bullish USD. Yeah, I mean, possibly if we're going to respect that low, we could see price turn around. I'm not interested in taking buys just yet, but if we can break the high, that would be an indication that we are slowly turning around. No worries, no worries. CS integrated. Yeah, I remember you were recommending that tea for me a while ago when I kept having, is it sore throat or kept coughing or something like that. But to be fair, I've seen other people talk about those teas with honey and ginger in it. Heard good things about it. Okay, bullish USD only until CPI makes sense. Of course, when CPI comes out, probably going to reanalyze, see where we can go from there. But yeah, I mean, overall with USD, it has been a little bit rough because we create the highs, create the lows. So the market is a little bit sideways at the moment. But as I've said, based on higher time frames, this is still bearish territory for me, so I'm looking to sell. And I mean, the way I'm looking at the market is pretty simple. If the market can respect this area, I'm looking at a pretty big sell to the downside. If we break through, I'm looking at a pretty big break to the highs here. So if we do eventually see the break to the upside, things become very clear because all my plan will be to do is to find the pullbacks and just keep buying the higher lows as we push to the upside, back to the high there. Effectively what we were doing in 2022, look in the dips, take it higher. That will be the same plan here as we push on. And because we had a really swift move down, probably we'll see a pretty clean move back up as well. And especially because we're coming out of a big range here, could see a really nice push to the upside. So the breakout opportunity is definitely something that does appeal to me, but we've got breakout first before I really get behind that. At the moment in time, we're still respecting this area here as resistance and very much could sell off to the downside, hence why I'm still bearish at the moment. But we'll see how things develop. Yeah, the fact is we respected that low very aggressively, and the market's pushed up since then, but I am looking at some lower highs forming. Yeah, possibly, Kevin. Parity on Euro USD could be the case. If we do go and break out that high there on dollar, that will take USD to the upside. Of course, breaking out of that low on Euro would take us to parity as well, which is not too far away actually. It's only over there. If you break the low there, I mean, I expect us to come back to 0.9796. So yeah, parity could be the setup if we do get the breakout of that high and of that low in Euro. So it could be very, very bearish for the next probably year, to be honest, if we do break through that low. Could take us at least 6 months to make that move, or potentially further if it's a little bit more corrective. So it's a very significant area which we're trading at. Excuse me. Yeah, it did. Gold did react with that 2075 area. Oh, we're looking pretty bullish at the moment. But yeah, I'm still looking to I'm very bullish on gold longer term, but I don't have a bullish setup for gold. So I'm not really interested too much with the price action for gold. Silver looks really good though. Silver looks really good. So I'm very focused on silver. Of course, with a strong break to the upside yesterday. That was a really nice move yesterday. So this one to me looks like it's slowly getting ready for a big move to the upside. So I'm kind of just waiting for the buys to take it back to 34.8. So yeah, that's kind of where my focus is. Of course, I know silver and gold are very correlated and they're both going to make the same move 90% of the time, but gold's price action isn't looking great. Silver is where my focus lies. For the move yesterday, it might have been a fake out. Okay, to take the highs out and then potentially push down. I mean, that still could be the case. I probably would wait for us to completely clear that before I rule that out of happening, because we very much could still stall here and then push right back down. So this is still kind of bearish territory, and again, not a place where you want to be looking to buy. If I'm going to look to buy gold, I need price to see a move like this, take up the highs first, and then I'll be looking for pullbacks and the higher low to form. This right now is still very bearish territory, and we could see price still put a top in and push right back down. Not a move I'm interested in. As I said, I'm still very bullish and looking for the buy setup. But it's a nice area nonetheless. You can see we did stall there for a few hours, strong drop to the downside. Could see price react with this area again and see a reaction. So it's still not a bad area to short, and it very much could be a bit of a fake out still. I will wait for us to clear this range here first before ruling that out completely. But yeah, if gold can take up the highs there, that would be great. And then I'll be a lot more interested in the higher lows, taking gold back up again. But for now, still looks good. So that's kind of where my focus will lie. Sammy, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Kwame, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Views on CAD CHF. Not one of my favorite pairs at the moment, but we'll take a look at it. It's no problemo. So CAD CHF, let me know what you're looking at. Looks like we have approached the low of the range there. So naturally not a bad place to be looking to long from. As we can see, a lot of rejections of this area in the past. 1, 2. Looks like we're seeing a third here as well. I mean, overall for CAD CHF, I'm very bearish on this pair. I think we're trading at all-time lows, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we are. So, I mean, longer term, we'll probably do a bit of a correction actually at some point. But difficult to try and predict that when it's going to happen. We could still drop another couple of times before that push happens. So predicting that move is a little bit more difficult until we start to see some development on the lower time frames. But for now, things are still looking pretty bearish. We did have a bit of a surge to the upside a couple weeks ago. All what happened is we landed flat on our face and we came straight back down. But naturally, if you're looking for a shorter term trade, I think this is a nice place for a long because, of course, we've rejected it so many times. I wouldn't look to try and hold anything because, as I said, the market's still bearish in the higher time frames. But it was a nice bullish engulfing candle down the 4-hour chart. I do think we can see a bit of a reaction here. I just wouldn't look to try and take that trade for too long because maybe the bigger move is still the break to the downside and a continuation of that bearish trend. So I would be careful from that. But naturally, it's a great place for a long. A lot of evidence of us rejecting this area. Back there again, another strong rejection. So I do like the longs here from 0.62, possibly a move back to 0.626, 627 before you really want to start looking at taking some profits there. Or even the high there, depends what you're looking for. But yeah, I would be pretty bullish CAD CHF shorter term. You're looking at CAD CHF sells. Yeah, I don't really have a setup for CAD CHF sells to be unless we kind of break the consolidation low. Because if you break this consolidation low, then I'm expecting us to come back into the low here because that's the next. It's the only next level really. So if we do break through the lows in terms of the lows we're trading at now, then 0.61 is where I expect us to end up. So there could be some nice retests and continuations off that area. But this is a very bullish territory. I wouldn't be looking to take any sells at all here. I know we've had a lot of momentum in the past few days, so you're probably looking to try and continue that momentum, and rightly so, but this is not the place to do it, especially when we're seeing evidence of price rejecting that area. So if we do break through, then looking to continue that momentum makes sense because you got that level to your back and probably a pretty nice move back to the low here. But we're still respecting this area of support. So yeah, I would wait for us to get the break and then we can talk about some shorts. But at the moment, trading at some daily support, not the best time to be looking to sell. Even if you are looking just to continue momentum, I would wait for that low to break. Okay, dollar CHF MD we'll take a look at. Hopefully that made sense, but yeah, not the best place to be looking to sell CAD CHF, I must admit. Yeah, high time frames, everything is still very bearish and looking for sells. It's probably the right play, but not the right time to do that. Dollar CHF, so another pair which I don't really like as well because I can't really get a good read of the higher time frames. I don't really know what we're doing. Overall, yes, there's a slow bearish trend to it, so I can figure that out. But as of late, the market has been making equal highs, equal lows there. So we've been a bit range bound. It's not like we've been breaking lows or breaking highs. We've been respecting them. So although we're a bit flat, there can be some nice opportunities in these conditions, but you want to be operating, at the high or at the low, looking for turning points there or breakouts, turning points here or breakouts. In these areas in the middle of the range, we're a bit more 50-50. Is price going to continue to the high? Is it going to turn around to the low? Is it going to consolidate and then try to go high and go low? It's difficult to map that out in terms of finding a clear-cut chart. So that's why I don't like dollar CHF, because of the area we're trading at. If we're up at the high there, I can use that to my advantage for some reversals or breakouts. Like I just mentioned, here's not the best time. So even though from a 4-hour perspective, we saw a really nice reversal pattern here, high, higher high, lower high, break of structure, breaking the lows, and potentially could be seeing another lower high form, another push down. So that could still be the play there with dollar CHF. And I have to admit, the structure looks really nice on the 4-hour chart. If all of this was just at the high there, it would be so much better, or at the low there, not in the middle. But I do like this area for a short. Consolidation for a few hours, strong drop to the downside, broke the low here very aggressively. So if we do push up there correctively, there's a good chance of another lower high forming and another push down. So I like the dollar CHF shorts. It's just the location of where we're trading isn't really of the highest quality. Doesn't mean the trade doesn't play out necessarily, but again, it depends what you have in your plan and what you're looking for. For example, for me, if I'm going to take setups like this, I would want it to be at an area in the higher time frame, which makes sense, not in the middle of a range. So because of that reason, I wouldn't look to take the position. But if something like this was up at the high or down at the low, similar to what Euro USD is doing, and which I am looking to take a buy on, Euro USD right back at the low here, I'm more than happy to look for longs here to try and trade euro to the upside. Of course, it's not quite ready yet, but it's the same situation in terms of markets forming a low, lower low, higher low. It looks like we're starting to reverse. Dollar CHF price action looks a little bit better because we actually did get a solid break of all of this to the upside. Euro didn't. It kind of left behind a bit of a wick. If I flick back to dollar CHF, you can see with a pretty strong break to the downside. So the price action is cleaner on the 4-hour chart, but just not in a great location. So yeah, for that reason, I would opt out. But it's not bad for a short. Opportunity, keep an eye on it. Could present a nice sell. But yeah, not quite for me. I mean, we have come into this area here, which is a nice area of supply on the weekly chart, but just, again, middle of the range does make things very, very awkward there. So for that reason, I'll stay away. But yeah, in terms of my watch list, again, it's still very much focused with USD and yen. I was looking a lot at Aussie CHF, but that's kind of not really looking that great anymore. Looking at Euro Aussie as well, not looking that particularly great either. And I was looking at Pound CAD last week, but that one's had a really big push to the upside, and now it's looking like it's coming back to the highs. Has it done that already? No, not quite, but not too far away from that. So in terms of the watch list, it's definitely pound yen shorts. So I'm keeping an eye on that because we're at some areas now where shorts do make sense. It's just about waiting for the confirmations and the entries to get involved, really. So that could come around in the next couple of days. CHF JPY, similar situation as well. This one's already testing a very nice area, coming back to test the high there, the low, looking for that to act as resistance again. Really nice drop from that high to that low, come back to 0.5, 0.618. So we're testing some healthy areas to short the market, just not quite ready in terms of the confirmations to click the trigger. But definitely an area and a market which looks good to me. And of course, CAD Yen, I'll be looking to manage that. In terms of the USD pairs, I like Euro USD, as we just spoke about. This one looks good to the upside, looking for another higher low to form to take that to some new highs. Pound USD, looking for another higher low to form there as well to take that to some new highs too, but I need a bigger correction. The risk reward hasn't been particularly great with Pound USD. Could have gone to a setup down here, but the risk reward was like a 0.8 back to the high, which is not great. So I want price to have a bigger pullback, and then I could talk about some longs there, potentially take it back up again. So I'll see how that forms. But again, looking for some buys at least back to 1.285, 286. And then maybe from here, we do have another big sell. Keep an eye on that. Could be coming back to the low there. But overall, still very bullish on pound USD as well. And looking to take this to the moon. And yeah, in terms of dollar CAD as well, I like this one too. Still got to break the high first though. Haven't quite done that yet. We came back into the high yesterday, a few wicks to the upside, a lot of rejection. So not quite ready yet, but it is showing some nice momentum. And if it does continue that, I do expect the high to break soon enough. And I can looking at some longs. It's funny because I'm looking to buy dollar CAD, but I'm also looking to buy pound USD and euro. So I guess depending on the setups, either euro and pounds going to fail or dollar CAD's going to fail. But either which way, I'm looking to take a quality setup really. If I do get a good trade, who am I to say no to that? As long as I take good trades at the end of the day, I can look back over my trades and be happy with them if I'm taking them for the right reason. So yeah, if dollar CAD can have a strong break with the high, I will be looking at longs. And this is so far the area I look at. If it's a really big break, then potentially I look for the retest of the high. But for now, this is kind of what I'm after for dollar CAD. And that is pretty much it, apart from silver as well, in terms of the USD markets, which look good. Okay, let me go to Awanda. There we go. So this is kind of the setup I'm interested in now with silver, looking for the higher highs and higher lows, and hopefully a big push. But speaking about USD markets, something that did interest me yesterday was Bitcoin, because we were looking pretty bearish. We did provide a lot of wicks though, so it's not like we continued falling. But we did have a close back below here. So with Bitcoin, is this a pause or is this price trying to turn around? So far, I still think it's just a pause. No kind of aggressive close like we saw with Litecoin. If Bitcoin saw something like that, that would be pretty scary. But it was a nice bearish close, but left behind a lot of wicks, and overall price is just kind of moving sideways. So we've had a lot of momentum previously, but it looks like 100K is just an area where the market is respecting. Maybe because it's such a significant level, people looking to actively take positions off, maybe add positions. This is an area where, of course, the market is showing a lot of respect to. So if we are going to break through this and see the next bullish leg, we need to see momentum above this area, some strong kind of closures, and that could be the signal, the instigation of another bullish run. If not, then we could very much just start to fall flat in our face again and start to consolidate, and who knows, maybe even have a move down. So yeah, it's an interesting time for Bitcoin because 100K is such a big level, and the fact is we're still stalling at this area. I kind of thought we'd just kind of rip through and keep going, but no. 100K, maybe some people taking some profits off, and probably rightly so, because even if you bought down here in this consolidation at 60K, it's still a 60% increase from 60K to 100K. So it's still pretty good returns. But yeah, Bitcoin's finding it hard, but I am still pretty bullish. And Ethereum had a pretty nice move to the downside as well. A bit more aggressive than Bitcoin, as you can see, a bit of a sell-off there. But again, it makes sense because where did Ethereum get to? It got to the prior high on the left here. So if I jump to the weekly chart, you can see some very significant level in the market. The next big level after that is the all-time high with Ethereum. So it's very significant, this high. I do think it will break. I had a look at some of the monthly candle closures on the crypto markets, and Ethereum had a really nice candle closure on November. So I do think momentum will probably take us through the high here and push us back to the all-time high eventually. So I am still very bullish on Ethereum. I think price is just having some natural profit takers as we do approach a significant high. Hence, we've got that reaction there, but I do think we're just going to break through. Bitcoin as well, if I look at the monthly candle closure for that one, I haven't actually looked at the monthly candle closure for this one. Yeah, very, very strong. Very, very strong. So Again, naturally a bit of retracement from 100K, but I do think we'll push on. Yeah, so it might just be a bit of a pause, and so far that's the impression I'm getting. What's up, old golden bones? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Annie Solana support. Please have a look. Okay, I'll take a look. Tocolo. Look at corn. Wow, we're really going abstract today. Looking at corn. Do you trade corn, Tocolo? Let's have a look at Solana. Okay, so yeah, I see the support you're talking about coming back into that high. Yeah, I mean, overall structure, yeah, because we did that exact same pattern here in terms of breaking the high, retest of the same high, continuation, doing it again. Only this time we haven't seen as big of a breakout, so it would be nice if it was slightly bigger and then the retest. But yes, we definitely had support. Drop into the daily, strong close, but left a big wick yesterday. More wicks down the 4-hour chart. I like the wicks actually because we're leaving some really aggressive wicks to the downside, but every time we do that, we seem to have a strong up move. So yeah, possibly could see a bit of an up move there for Solana. Wouldn't be surprised back to some of the highs here. Maybe it gives us the continuation to the high. That's a different question, but definitely it's a nice area. I like the rejections and the way price is moving. So I do think an up move looks pretty likely, at least back to this area here. Maybe not the high, maybe the high, but I would at least lock in gains there if you want to leave some positions to trail. But yeah, I think it looks good. Definitely trading at support. I definitely agree with that. And I like how price is moving too. And the fact is we had a really nice breaking retest of the prior high, and that gave us the continuation. So possibly we could see that pattern repeat itself again. We test the prior high over there, and that might give us another continuation back to the high, so on and so forth. So testing nice area, price action looks good, lovely rejections of the wicks. And based on how price is moving the 4-hour chart, there's a good chance we'll probably see an up move there as well. So yeah, it ticks a lot of boxes there, I would say, for some buys there for this one. Yeah, it is looking pretty bullish there. What is the prefix for corn? Can't say I've looked at corn before. Is it just corn? I suppose so. Yeah, definitely haven't looked at this before, but hey, there's always a first for everything. Okay, so we were very bullish during 2020, 2022, but we've been in a bit of a bearish trend. So it's actually coming back to a nice area for a short, actually. Back into that prior low, prior high there, sorry. It's actually coming back to a nice area for a short on the higher time frames. 4-hour chart is still pretty bullish though. But I would say as we do approach the high again, there might be a nice short here. I wouldn't look for the crazy move that I just mentioned away to the low. I think that's a bit aggressive, but as we do approach the high again, there might be some nice shorts here to take it back down. Maybe back to the lows here, or even a bit before that, this area here. But I think that's a nice place for a short. That looks like a nice place for a short for me. And of course, nice area of supply then left. So yeah, I would be looking at some downside there for corn. Yeah, 447. I'll be looking at some shorts. Of course, need to see some rejection at those areas. I wouldn't jump straight in, but it's definitely an area where I do expect price to actually see a reaction. XRP, yes, we can take a look at XRP, no problemo. Okay, you do swing trade corn, nice. Okay, seasonality plays a hot. Okay, yeah, I suppose so. For a market like corn, but yeah, I can't say I've ever looked at corn before. But I mean, again, if there's a market out there, you can look to trade it. Of course, you just need to know its those parameters, how it works. Um, but yeah, that is definitely interesting. In terms of XRP, so yeah, this one's been on a mad one as well. Of course, we have seen a bit of profit taking because we have actually taken up this high here. And this is why XRP is quite interesting because this one obliterated the high over here. That was like our last kind of big move. We didn't get to the all-time highs. We came back down. But now we've had a bigger move and we've actually taken out those same highs. So I do think XRP is probably going to get back to the all-time highs, just above $3 there. We are seeing a bit of a reaction, I think rightly so, because a lot of participants probably were locking in some gains as we did approach the high here in preparation for potentially another move like that, but we actually broke through. So I think naturally we're seeing a bit of profit taking, just a bit of a pullback. I do think there's room for this one to keep flying. Um, yeah, it was a strong close on the daily chart to the downside, but it looks like a correction to me still, bit of a bull flag maybe. So yeah, I do think crypto. I still think XRP's got room to the upside here. Still think XRP's got room to the upside. Tapped into a nice area, that little consolidation there as well. Retesting the high there too on the left. Back over here. So yeah, in my book, I'm looking at XRP making another wave. It may only be like something like this as we push the high, and then we might kind of consolidate again. But there might be a nice swing there. And then maybe we do get to the all-time highs. That is still my longer term target with XRP. But yeah, looking very bullish to me. So another bullish run could be on the cards. Short dollar yen this week, but looks relentless. I'm still pretty bearish on dollar yen. I'm still looking at downside for that one. I'll go through it in a second, but I'm still pretty bearish. I mean, USD is a little bit strong at the moment, so it might be a little bit difficult, but it's in a nice area to short. I've got a couple areas which I'm looking at, so I'll take a look at that, and then we can go through some crosses. Yes, Frank, you asked this question yesterday. Yes, I still do lives with Nick on Thursdays, every Thursday pretty much. Yeah, I still do lives with Nick. So yeah, with dollar yen, still pretty bearish on this one. It hasn't had such a clean pullback, to be honest, but it's still a nice area for some downside. These are the two areas which I'm looking at short. So 151.5 and 153.5. This area would be an area which I'll look at, but the pullback's not deep enough for me to take shorts. I at least want price to be trading at the 50 and above that before I do look for any shorts. So the 50 is still above there. So it's not a trade for me, but still a nice area, reacting with that swing low. We're coming into a nice supply area. I still think this is a nice place to short from. If it doesn't hold and price does break through, then this becomes the area of interest for me and an area where we could actually see some nice downside from 153.5. So it depends what dollar yen wants to do. Still very bullish. If you break through both of them, that's when I'll fold my hand and say, okay, maybe dollar yen is bullish. And I might need to reanalyze it and see where we go from that. See how the weekly candle closes and look how structure is forming. But at the moment in time, these two areas are areas where I do think we can see some downside from. So as long as we can keep respecting them, I'm not going to worry too much about the upside. Okay, one short from the first zone. Yeah, I mean, we did have a reaction this morning, caused a bit of a drop, but the market seems to has erased that. Now looking pretty bullish. So I would keep an eye to see how we develop today, what we do in this area. Do we keep trying to push? Do we form some more wicks? Do we shift momentum? Could be still be some nice shorts in this area. If not, then I'll be looking at 153.5. Uh, Divergence from the hourly time frame for dollar yen as well. Yeah, I mean, it does look like we're having a slower move as well. So again, stacking the confluences in your favor. Where's the 200 in this? What's up, Tom? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, price is just coming into the 200. Interesting. I mean, that still would be my preferred area to short from, but it's nice having the 200 confluence running through the zone there too. But yeah, I would be looking at a bigger pullback still because at least we haven't hit the 50 yet. I want price to at least be trading there and above. But yeah, it looks like a nice area to short. Like I said, if it doesn't hold, then I would be looking at the secondary 153.5 for some shorts and looking to see if we can come back into the lows where we came from and possibly beyond that as well. Andrea, pound USD. Okay, I'll discuss that one for you. Okay, Tom, you're long pound USD and New Zealand CAD. Pound USD holding nicely, but New Zealand CAD being a little bit ugly. Okay, we'll take a look. Hey, what's up, Holy One? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Sitting on the top of the high, taking yeah, possibly we could do that as well. We could actually go and take the high there too if the market wants to do that. Again, I'm looking at those two areas, depending which one we hold. Will be. I mean, I'm not going to be looking at the first area to be fair, because like I said, hasn't reached the 50 yet, but 153.5 is my preferred area. So if it does get there, we'll be looking at opportunities. But at the moment, I'm looking at GJ and Swiss yen. So that's kind of where my focus does lie. But potentially we go and take up the high there as well. The market could look to do that. But these are the two areas which I would expect to see some downside from. If not from the first one, then I'll be looking at 153.5 afterwards. Okay, so we'll go through pound USD. We'll go through New Zealand CAD as well. Yeah, that's CAD yen, Takola. I'll go through it after I go through pound USD and New Zealand CAD. But yes, I'm still in that position at this moment in time. So yeah, pound USD. I do like the buys for this one. Not necessarily looking to buy it just now. I think the move has already kind of gone. We've already seen a bit of up move there. In theory, I want to see another bit of a pullback first for pound USD because I'm still looking for a push back into this area here, 1.285. So I would want to see a bit of a pullback, the higher low form and the push. If not, then there is no trade for me for pound USD. I wouldn't be looking to enter now. Since price is just creating new highs, and this is just not the best place. I want price to pull back, at least for a better risk reward as well. And in terms of the short side of things, I do like 1.285 for some sells. Was really strong support here a couple of times. Strong break, haven't come back for the retest. So that looks like a nice place to short from there as well, 1.285. So yeah, in terms of pound USD, I would be bullish on this one. I'm still pretty bearish on USD. Pound USD on the higher time frames is still trading at an area where we keep forming these higher lows, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in my book, there's still room for us to run to the upside. Yeah, there's still room for us to run to the upside, but it's just now isn't the best time to be jumping in. So I would look for that bigger pullback. But yeah, 1.285, 286 is where I do expect price to push into, but maybe a pullback, retesting that miniature consolidation back there could prove to be a nice little opportunity there, maybe in the next couple of days, and look for the next continuation. But yeah, pound definitely bullish. New Zealand CAD, Tom, you said you're in a long position, but moving a little bit ugly. I can see what you mean. Big push to the downside there. Looks like we had a bit of a fake out there. Looks like price was trying to break the high of this channel, but essentially didn't quite make that happen. And now it's looking pretty bearish again. So we do have this bearish channel, which price has been trading in. I said if we can break the high of that channel, then there could be another phase, another wave back to the high again. because overall, if you look at this ascending channel here on the daily chart, let me actually just use the ascending channel tool. It's been a nice ascending channel, but it's been pretty corrective. So I said if we are going to see that swing to the upside, and price is going to make that lovely move back to the high there, I do want us to break out of this channel here, and then we can start looking for some longs on the way up. At the moment, it doesn't look like that is the play. If price does manage to get back below the low here, then I would be bearish again on New Zealand CAD and looking for a swing back to the low there. But yeah, I have to admit, not looking great there. It might have been a bit of a fake out of the high. So yeah, we'll see how that does develop. But hey, pound USD is going nicely. Can't complain on that end. So yeah, I do have a CAD yen position, which I took a couple weeks ago now. Been sitting in this one for a while, but the idea was I was looking for the retest of this area here for additional entries. But we just never got that. So at this moment in time, my stop loss is still trailed around 109.6, just above this level here. I am looking to see if I can trail it above the high here, but I need this low here to break first, and then I will look to trail it there, because 103 is there, which I'm looking to pull the trade, take the profits off the table. So I still do have a bit more. I still do expect more downside for CAD yen. But at the moment, it looks like we're respecting lows, so we'll see how that does develop. But yeah, I'm going to keep trading. I'm being very loose with my trailed stops. Normally, I'll probably be a bit more aggressive than this, but given the pair, given the location of where I took the trade, it made sense to be a little bit more loose and really let the market do the heavy lifting. So yeah, hopefully I can trail above the high here soon. But at the moment, still there. I have locked in gains when we did, excuse me, when we did break through the low. So yeah, it's not a full position running, it's about half. So yeah, not too caught up in that, but we'll see how that goes. It's been a nice move so far, so hopefully we can keep falling. It's about a 700 pip move, so not a small move at all. But we'll see how that gets going. I'm looking to see if I can get involved with pound yen and CAD yen. But yeah, not quite giving me the entries just yet. I'm not going to keep an eye on both of them. Excuse me. Okay. G, I'm only going to the next high, then out. Okay. And we're not too far away from the next high, are we? Yeah. Next, I mean, I assume by next high you mean like this high here, 1.28 area. But yeah, we very much could make that happen. I think that would be my preferred area to buy from, but we shall see. But anyway, I'll go through I'll go through some of the crosses, see what's happening on that end, and we'll go through some C-chair pairs as well. If there are any particular pairs you guys do want me to analyze or look at, even if you want me to look at different time frame as well, let me know and I'll take a look. But yeah, we'll go through some crosses. I haven't actually gone through any of them yet. Hey, what's up, Moore? Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope your lunch was scrumptious. Okay, we'll go through pound Aussie, pound NZD markets, which I'm actually getting ready for some sells. Still looking pretty bullish here for pound Aussie. I'm going to start looking to short the market once price goes and takes out the high here, because at that point we're creating new highs, and now I can expect the next bearish phase to potentially start coming to the market and some counter trend moves. At the moment, the market is still very bullish. We're testing the highs here, and it looks like we're trying to break through them anyway. Still pretty bullish market with the higher highs and higher lows. So that is for certain. We're coming up to some heights where I do think we can turn around. But the key thing I want to see is price make the new highs, and then I can start looking for some counter trend moves and hopefully some shorts later on. So that could still take a couple of weeks to form easily. So no rush with pound Aussie trying to get involved, but the buyers have definitely left the station. So no longer interested in the buys anymore. This is now bearish territory and areas where I do expect price to turn around. If I take a look at pound entity, it's in a similar situation as well. If I expand to the higher time frames, in particular the weekly chart, you can see price is taking out a key high here. We did this a while ago. That was the COVID high. But it looks like we're taking out the new high that price created as well. So I do expect to see a bit of a bearish move come into the market pretty soon. But the idea is to look for some lower highs first, again, because we could very much break out and keep flying. So I don't want to be on the wrong side of that. But if we can see some lower lows, lower highs developing, I do think there can be some nice shorts and retest some structure and hopefully catch the wave lower. But yeah, that could again take a couple of weeks to form, so no rush on that end as well. But we're at some areas where I'm going to be interested in pound Aussie and pound NZD again. So hopefully you can catch some shorts. Road to success. Okay, gold. I will take a look. Frank, ETH against Bitcoin. Very interesting. Okay, we'll have a quick look at that. Quick and delicious. Nice. Voice is starting to be a bit croaky now. That is, of course, great news. But yeah, pound NZD looking at some shorts there, and hopefully, excuse me, and hopefully we can get that set up in the next couple of weeks or so. Euro NZD and Euro Aussie, these guys not so much. I have to be honest, especially Euro NZD, we're in the middle of absolute nowhere. You got the highs over there, you got the lows down here, and all price is doing is trading in the middle. So I'm not interested at trading Euro NZD at all. Possibly we could be getting ready for a big move to the upside. Possibly, but it's more to do with the fluctuation of the range rather than a really clear opportunity to take some long. So not interested with Euro NZD based on the higher time frames. Even if I drop to the 4-hour chart, it's still a very messy chart as well. And I'm not going to have much edge here. So trying to stay away from these guys as much as possible until they clean themselves up. Maybe there could be some nice sells at the high of the range here for move back down or move back up from the low. That could be something that looks promising, but we're neither testing the high or the low right now, in the middle. So yeah, trying to do a good job at staying away from that market structure. In terms of Euro Aussie, these guys are slowly developing. Again, I don't like the price action at all with this one, but it did come back to a nice high where I was looking for some shorts on the 4-hour chart. In fact, if I push this up a little bit higher, I was looking for price to come back and test the high here. Just missed out, and then had a really strong reaction as well. So not really giving me the entry I'm looking for, but the idea this week was to see if I can catch a short from there and take it back down, at least back to the lows, which we did see happen just within the first few hours of the week. Really strong move down there as well. So yeah, Euro Aussie, now that that move has kind of happened, no longer really interested with Euro Aussie right now, and still waiting for a bit more development on that end. But in terms of the crosses, pound Aussie, pound NZD looks good. Euro pound, we spoke about this briefly at the start of the stream. I do think there could be some nice buys coming into the market because we're still trading that monthly zone. Really strong monthly level of support here, and we could look at this as a turning point in the market. But there's no evidence of us turning yet. We're still breaking lows. We're still seeing lower highs. So if we are going to turn around, I need structure to start breaking to the upside, higher lows to start printing. Then I can try and plot a pullback somewhere and find some entries. If not, who knows? Maybe we do see a massive breakout of that monthly level, and we actually we fall off a cliff here. That could be the situation. So yeah, waiting for more development, and maybe there might be some entries to take higher. But at the moment, nothing of that sort. And in terms of Aussie, New Zealand dollar, very corrective pair. Did have a nice move to the downside last week off the retest of that high. I'm looking at potential of the bounce for this one. We've been very consistent with all of these higher lows here. You guys can't quite see that. There we go. So I've been pretty consistent with all of these higher lows. And I do think there could be some more entries to take to the upside there. If we can push a little bit further, there might be some higher highs and higher lows developing. And something like that to take it back to the upside. So I do like that as an opportunity there for Aussie New Zealand dollar. Not really a pair which I look at a lot, but I do think there could be a nice little trade there that follows. We can take it back to the high. You can see how consistent price has been with all of these high lows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fake out there. Oh, fake out here. Then you got 6, 7, looking at number 8, and then continuation back to the high. So I like Aussie New Zealand dollar from that regard, but need a bit more downside, and I'll be looking for price to turn around. More what's up? Trade S&P. No, I'm actually about to start trading US 30 on my live account, but S&P, NASDAQ, they're further down in the pipeline because before I never really looked to trade indices. I mean, I keep up to date with them, but I never really looked to trade them. I just stick with FX, gold, and silver. But I'm looking to incorporate US 30. And then hopefully, if that goes well, I'll look to add S&P 500 and the NASDAQ as well. And then maybe I look to add more to that as well. But I think for now, those 3 indices is where my focus will be. US 30, NAS, and the S&P. But for now, just looking at S&P because it's a little bit different to FX. We have that kind of overall trend to the upside. Market doesn't correct as much as well. So it's a little bit different, but I'm liking US 30. And I think I would like S&P and NASDAQ as well. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Aussie New Zealand dollar. MD, I'll take a look at pound CAD, and then we'll go through some of the other CHF pairs. So yeah, pound CAD, very big move to the upside for this one. Price looks like it's almost back at the high there at 1.813. So yeah, pound CAD, I was looking for some sells for this guy for another push to the downside. Never happened last week. Really strong move to the upside. And now price is looking pretty bullish again. So with pound CAD, if we can see some development, there could be some nice shorts off the reaction of that low, of that high, sorry. But I wouldn't look to try and take that trade for too long in terms of holding that short, because I do think price has a good chance of coming to this area, reacting, and probably pushing bullish again. The trend looks to be still intact on the higher time frames. Momentum's still up, and I wouldn't be surprised if we go and see some new highs shortly. So although it's a nice area to short from, we did form a really nice double top not long ago. Test the area once, test it again, and we could see a nice third reaction. But I do think the bigger move is probably to the upside in this situation for pound CAD. So if you're looking for some shorts, 1.813 is a nice area. Of course, we reacted a couple times before. If we see the same development again, there could be a nice short. But my own advice would be not to try and push trade too far. So I do think the bigger move is probably still a break to the upside. I'm looking at this as a big V-shaped pattern. And as I keep saying, these V-shaped patterns are very, very aggressive. They work out pretty well. And they normally do mean reversals. So we might see a bit of a correction, and the bigger move will probably take us to the upside, breaking the high. And because we've got a lot of momentum on the higher time frames, there's a strong possibility we keep pushing. So short-term sells, but we might see a longer-term buy. So I would watch out for that. Blessing, okay. Euro USD, UJ, okay. I'll go through those two. I'll go through some CHF pairs. I keep saying that. But I'll get them two out of the way, and then I'll go through some CHF pairs. Because I had a trade in Euro on Aussie CHF, but I decided not to take it, and for good reason as well. I'll go through that. But yeah, Euro still looking for buys. Again, still trading at a comfortable area where this is a bullish territory in the higher time frames. You can see massive swing low there, taking that across, just about pinch to the low, and looking at a reaction to the upside. That's the plan in the higher time frames. If we do see a strong break to the downside and see some strong candle closures below, of course, I'll hold my hands up. Maybe we're going to break through this structure. Maybe we're going to see a really big move down. And of course, if that's the case, I'll be bearish again. But for now, this is still bullish territory. So I am looking at longs, and dropping to the 4-hour chart, we are starting to see some evidence of that happening, some higher highs and higher lows. So I'm looking at some buys here for Euro USD, a higher low somewhere. and we can take it back to at least this high here, but preferably a lot further. I've talked about these areas here as targets we can look to take euro towards, because it's due a pullback. We've been falling since September, really. We've been falling, haven't had much of a pullback since. So in my book, euro is definitely due a little bit of an up move, and looking to see if we can anticipate that in these areas. 1.05, looking for that reaction. So yeah, euro USD looking for some buys. Dollar yen looking for some sells. I like the areas of prices trading in. These are the two levels where I do like the shorts from, 151.5 and 153.5. Both of them look really good to take lower. At the moment in time, not really much, seeing some rejection in this area. So keep an eye as we go into the New York session. There could be some nice shorts developing that area. If not, if we do break through, then 153.5 is the area to keep an eye out for. Two really strong areas, two areas where we could see some nice reactions and see price push lower. So yeah, with dollar yen, I like the shorts coming into some nice areas. Overall, I do expect us to maintain that momentum. Really, really strong candle closure on the weekly chart. As you can see, they're so aggressive. I do expect us to keep pushing. We managed to get back below this high on the weekly as well. So I do think as long as we can keep that up, there's a lot of room to the downside for dollar yen. So yeah, very bearish. Still looking at push to the low. And those are the two areas which I think shorts look good from. Okay, so we'll go through some CHF pairs next. Yeah, I agree. I agree more. There's no point to really limit yourself to a particular set of markets, because at the end of the day, an opportunity is an opportunity in the market. And whether it happens on FX, US 30, crypto, or a commodity, doesn't really matter. Maybe crypto is a little bit different because there isn't as many players, so technical analysis isn't as prominent on crypto side of things. But then a good opportunity doesn't just rely on technicals. It could be fundamentals, could be sentiment, could be whatever. A good opportunity is a good opportunity. So yeah, you don't really want to limit yourself overall. I can understand, learning a trade, you might want to focus on a certain group of markets like I did with FX. But as you grow and you gain more experience, you look to expand that and look at what other markets you can trade, what other markets provide some nice opportunities. And you never know, you might stumble on a market that you're more successful with than the markets you're already trading with as well. So it might be a situation where you forget about the markets you're already trading with and you focus more on a different one. So yeah, you can always look to experiment and test new things out. So yeah, I think dabbling with the indices could be a really nice shout. And of course, if they're not working too well, you can always ditch them. At least you give it a shot. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with dollar yen. In terms of the CHF pair, so Aussie CHF was a pair. I was actually looking to trade this at the start of the week, hoping to find some entries, and there was an entry, but it was just a little bit too big for my liking, especially from the area we're coming from and the area which we're going to. So this was a very strong level of support on the daily chart. As you can see, really strong evidence of price rebounding from these areas. 1, 2, 3, of course, as being a really big fake out. 4 and potentially 5 there as well. So the plan was, as we come back into this area, looking for that higher low, respecting that low there, and a push back to the upside. But the reason why I didn't take the trade is because the entry signal was a little bit too big on this candle. So if I did take the position, my stop loss would be at least below the low there. And coming back into that range, which would be the first target for the trade, I'm looking at 0.7, 0.8 RR, which is not great because I'm at least going to break even after 1R. So if I can't even get 1R before I do hit some areas where price can turn against me, I would stay out the trade here. And the thing is, we did make it to that. I think we kind of stalled at this area here a little bit and turned around. So Aussie CHF's a nice area for a buy, but I'm not liking how price is moving because we had a really strong impulse up and a strong impulse down, more like a inverse V-shaped pattern in the lower time frames. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do spill over. So I'm not really liking how things are setting up here with Aussie CHF, I'll wait to see how price action develops. There might be a nice entry late in the week, but at the moment, not liking it. You can see the price action here. Nice push down, correct to move back down, strong reaction. Yeah, that's a nice little entry signal to take to the upside. Here, not looking as good anymore. So I'll see how it develops. It's definitely a nice area for a buy. And the thing is, as long as we stay above that area, the buys are still valid. If we do break through, then of course, I'll put the buys to bed and start talking about some sells. Because at that point, if we do break through that support level, there's a good chance we're coming all the way back to the low of the wick here. So either which way, there's a big move to be had with Aussie CHF. Whether we respect the lows or break through them, it's a big turning point in the market. Whether we're going to do something like this or something like that. So it's a pair I'm going to keep a very close eye over the next few weeks, few months, really. But at the moment, the buy is not looking quite there yet. So staying on the sidelines, but definitely keeping a close eye. New Zealand CHF has actually broken through some key support. So this one is looking very bearish. I do think this one is slowly working its way to the low to go and test that wick there. You've broken through this support level, left that in the dust. So now I do think price is coming back to 0.494. In terms of opportunities, I do want price to sell off a little bit harder first before I do find some pullbacks. So yeah, I'm looking at another lower high forming in relation to this high. So if we can push down, then I'll be looking at some pullbacks, a lower high somewhere, maybe retesting this prior low as resistance, retest the fib, 0.5, 0.618, and then hopefully take some entries off the back of that. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for New Zealand CHF. But again, high time frames are still very bearish with this one. We've been falling to the downside for a while, and it looks like we're just seeing continuation of that. So very bearish on New Zealand CHF. And because New Zealand CHF is falling, it does mean that there's a good chance Aussie CHF could fall as well, because these two are very heavily correlated, tend to do the same thing. So if New Zealand CHF is falling, there's a pretty good chance that Aussie CHF is probably getting ready to break that low as well. So I'm keeping that in my mind too. And if we do see the break, then I'm expecting both of them to go to their respective lows and probably a lot further. I'm going to keep an eye on pound CHF as well, because if Aussie CHF seeing a move down, New Zealand CHF seeing a move down, of course, not quite confirmed yet with Aussie CHF, still needs to break the low. But if it does get to that stage, then we could see pound CHF make a similar move as well, another CHF pair, which again, we had a lovely drop in the market in July. I'm looking at this move as a bit of a pullback for that. And if we do break the consolidation to the downside, there could be some really nice shorts back into that low there as well. Now, I've talked about this opportunity for about a couple of weeks now. Still waiting for the same move. I mean, there's nothing changed with it. We're either going to form a lower high here or we're not. So the plan is still very much to wait for the breakout, look for the retest afterwards, and find some shorts back into the low. And this looks really good because we've got a lot of momentum on our side. And if the market is going to fall, there's a good chance we're just going to continue that higher time frame trend as well, which for pound CHF 2 is bearish. So it's nice to know that we're in the direction of the higher time frame momentum as well. So yeah, waiting for the break of structure here, the break of the range, which may take a while, but hey, I've got other markets I'm looking at, so no rush. If it does happen, I'm there. If not, there's quite a few other markets which I'll be looking to get involved with. But yeah, that's definitely something I'm looking at, and hopefully you can get that forming soon. In terms of the other CHF pairs, CAD CHF we did mention, not a big fan of this guy. It's just trading at the low of the range at the moment. So there could be some nice buys. But again, if we are going to short for the CHF pairs and see some downside, I would want to wait for this support to break here at 0.619. And then hopefully we can discuss some sales back into low there at 0.61. But at the moment, this is a pretty steady support. It's a nice bullish engulfing candle. I actually see a bit of a run to the upside. And then finally, you've got your lovely Euro CHF, which I think is probably the worst pair out of them all. I mean, this one keeps making lower lows and new all-time lows, I'm pretty sure. So we keep pushing to the downside. But I'm not a big fan of the market structure. It's just very corrective. Look how choppy that is. That's one thing that you're going to get with the CHF pair. There's a lot of choppy price action. If this was a yen pair or a USD pair, you'll see nice swings, healthy pullbacks. not just corrective moves on the way down. So yeah, not great there from Euro CHF, I have to admit. But this one as well, still maintain the lower highs. We probably will just keep correctively falling back into the low until we make some new ones. So yeah, I mean, overall, it does look like CHF pairs are pretty bearish, which means might be a bit tricky to short CHF JPY. So we're gonna have to really rely on a bullish yen. But CHF looks like it's strong, and their respective pairs are falling. And if that keeps up, there could be some really big moves. The three I'm going to keep a close eye on is pound CHF, break of that range. This one looks really good for a move to the downside. So keep a close eye on this one. Aussie CHF, if it breaks that low on the daily chart, breaks this low, looking for a push to that low. And Aussie CHF has already seen the break, so now I'm keeping an eye on some shorts with this one. Some pullbacks and then some shorts. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the CHF pairs. Again, not markets which I trade very often, but if there's a good opportunity, I'm not going to say no. And maybe there could be some nice opportunities in the next few days, but it looks like we're going to see some nice shorts. And it makes sense though, because it looks like we're about to short the yen pairs too. And these guys typically move in the same direction to a degree. They kind of haven't been doing that for the past 2 years. Yen pairs have been trending up, whereas CHF pairs have been trending down. So they're kind of being a little bit opposite. But normally they do have some correlation. But we'll see. For now, keep an eye on the JPY basket. Still selling off a little bit. Again, looking for that bigger pullback, 6,500, 6,400 areas I'm looking at for some buys. And then looking to see if we can take it back to the high over there. How's the Japanese index doing? I haven't actually looked at any of the indices today. I think they're retracing. This one's still looking pretty bullish too. And yeah, I probably would expect that. I think yen pairs still got a bit more upside left in them, so might see the index push up still. But in terms of the indices, US 30, I believe this one's starting to retrace, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. So I do like the area here around 44K. I was talking a lot about this yesterday. If I whip out the fib from the low to the high, I like this area here. Lines up very well with the 0.5, 0.618. Nice area demand there. Strong break to the upside. Haven't come back for a retest. So I think that's a nice area where you can get to, see some buys, and take it back to the high there as well. And look for the next higher low. Because with US 30, I've been so consistent with the higher highs and higher lows. I mean, we have made new all-time highs, so I do expect a pullback. Have we filled the gap? Yes, we have, or have not. Almost, so we just about missed it. I mean, those lines are pretty wonky, but I think we just almost filled it. But yeah, I'm looking for a bit more downside for US 30. Again, overall, still a very bullish market. So yeah, as we can evidently see, as long as we can stay above this low here, I still retain that bullish bias and looking for a big swing. In terms of NAS, yep, NAS, similar situation as well. Really nice move to the upside, creating new highs. From that low to the high there. Looking for a retest of this zone. Nice confluence, resistance, broke through with a lot of momentum, never had the retest. Of course, taking out the highs down the left. Now looking for a pullback into that same area. Looking for the higher low, new highs as well. As long as we stay above this higher low, that still keeps me bullish. If we break through, then I'm looking for more of a counter trend move to the downside. And then again, eventually expect us to go bullish anyway, but probably see some nice shorts in the meantime. But for now, still very consistent with the higher lows. Looking for the next one around the 21K area. So if you can see pullback there, looks good. Looks like we're falling a bit of a head and shoulder on the low time frames actually. So you got your left over there, head and possibly your right shoulder. So maybe that pullback is going to happen sooner than expected. But I do like the buys there, 21K, just below 21K for the buys. In terms of S&P, Nice move to the upside. This one I don't like as much as US30 and NAS because the setup isn't quite as good. Yes, nice break to the high, but there is no kind of solid level, which I do like the buys from. I do like the high here, but it's nowhere near the 50. So if price was to have a bigger breakout and it lines up with the 50, that would be more attractive. But of course, that would take a pretty big move for that to happen. So in terms of the confluence and the stacking layers in your favor, US30 and NAS look very good in that regard. A lot of confluence there. US 500, not so much, but again, similar pairs that do the same thing anyway. So just keep an eye on those opportunities. All right, no problem. More, have a good one, my man. I appreciate you coming on, saying hi, and spending some time with us. But yeah, see you tomorrow. Ninad, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Blown away by CHFJY yesterday. You think could attack a sell position again? I'm looking to do the same thing. I'm pretty bearish with CHFJPY. So I'm looking for some sells. The key thing is being patient, waiting for the right time to short. At the moment, it's still pretty bullish, but I am looking for some shorts in this area. This is where I'm looking to take some downside from. So we'll keep a close eye as things develop today, tomorrow, for the rest of the week, pretty much. All right, take care. Cease Integrated. Appreciate you coming on. Make that like button bullish. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. And of course, if you find it useful, educational, informative, entertaining, if I already said that, show some love, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, hit the bell as well. But yeah, with CHF it's in a nice area to short, and this is where I'm looking to take those entries. I'm looking for double tops, wicks, bearish engulfing candles on the 4-hour chart before stepping into the market. But this is where I would be looking at a lower high forming and looking for some downside. So it is an area where I would look to short and have another stab. Again, like I said yesterday, if you do get stopped out of a trade, if you have a positive risk reward, not to worry, because if you do win the next trade, you make back the loss plus some more. And I do think this is a positive risk reward situation. If we're going to get back to the lows, could be looking at 1 to 3 plus. Of course, you don't necessarily need to look all that way to make it a successful trade, but the opportunity is there. So yeah, I will be looking for the opportunity for CHF Not quite ready yet, but it's in a nice area. ETH BTC, I forgot to look at that, didn't I? Okay, I'll take a look at Ethereum against the Bitcoin. Okay, so we've been trending pretty heavily to the downside here. So Ethereum's been losing some strength against BTC. I like the sells for this one, actually. Really consistent lower highs. This is the daily chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the market's been very consistent with the lower highs. So we do see another push to the upside. Good chance we're going to form another lower high. So I would be looking at another move to the upside, maybe back into that 200 area, another lower high. I'm looking for another short around 0.449. Yeah, I'll be looking at something like that. Maybe there could be some short-term buys on the way up, but I think the sells is the much easier and more likely opportunity. I don't think we've come into a major swing low yet. Nah. So yeah, looking at another push and another move to the downside for Ethereum against Bitcoin. Not very popular market to trade, but looks like some nice opportunities there. Yeah, for a retest of that low. So keep an eye on that area. Could be some nice shorts coming up. But yeah, at the moment in time, still nursing CAD yen. Going to see how that continues this week. It looks like we are seeing some momentum to the upside for the yen pair. So let's see how far that goes. But I'm still very much bearish, still looking at shorts. So CHFJY, pound yen. All right, appreciate it, Nanad. CHF JPY, pound yen are the marks I'm looking at. Of course, hopefully some buys on euro and pound, maybe buys in dollar CAD as well. If you do end up breaking the highs and seeing some pullbacks, might be some nice opportunities there to take some longs. And keep an eye on the CHF pairs. Very bearish on them, but some structure needs to go first before I can really look to take any shorts. But yeah, that's really where my focus lies. But as always, guys, do appreciate everyone tuning in. If you have found the stream useful, please be sure to drop a like on the channel. It does really help out. As CS Integrators said, make the like button bullish, guys. It does really help out, and I do appreciate everyone who has done that so far. I will be live again tomorrow, day after that as well, day after that too. As always, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. Check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel if you haven't done so already. Link to that in the description below and also the top of the chat. Join discussions, chat with other traders, including myself, share trading ideas, and of course, you can learn a little bit more about Elevating Traders, the firm, as well. And you can find your discount code there for 50% off your next purchase. So, guys, really do appreciate you tuning in. Go check it out if you're interested. As I said, I will be live again tomorrow, so I will catch you all there. But thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one.